movie about Imam Ali, they showed his hands. So now, as they showed his hands, he said, like I lost reverence, that respect that I had, or the regard that I had for Imam Ali, I lost it because I saw the hands. So why? Because you saw someone as hands, as Imam Ali's hands, he's playing a role, and you lost respect of that. What were you expecting? What were you expecting? Were you expecting that he'll be light, or some halo on his head, or some sort of that he's walking on air? This is the eyes are deceiving. For example, Hazrat Hamza would always be known in the picture of Anthony Quinn, who played his role in the movie The Message. And so now everyone, whenever they think of Hazrat Hamza, they think of Anthony Quinn. So now what happens? Your eyes just looked at something and you lost reverence or respect for something. What would happen if you actually lived with the Imams? Think about it very deeply. If you had lived with the Imams, right now you haven't lived with the Imams, you never saw them, so now you're just using imagination from what you have heard about the Imams from majalis or reading books. But what if we lived in the time of Imam Ali or Imam Hussein or any of the Imams for that matter? What if we actually saw them? There would be a huge disappointment. We would have a huge disappointment because the Imams were not like flying in air. They didn't have like this light glowing. They were like actual people doing actual things, like, shopping and talking to people, you know, doing like normal things, getting hurt. So when you look at the imams, uh, how are you looking at them? Your eyes are looking at them and showing that what? He's just like me. For example, let me share a scenario with you. In the Battle of Uhud, where you see that the Prophet was injured, and the way that it was injured, that his lips were cut open, and the teeth in front were broken, and one of the teeth got stuck into his gums, and when he was in pain, because imagine if your teeth got stuck in the jaw. They were hit and it got stuck in the jaw. It was like in pain, right? So he was in pain because of that teeth that stuck in his jaw. And one of the companions saw him grimace in pain, and he came there, and the companion stuck his mouth in the mouth of the prophet and took that teeth out of his jaw with his own teeth. Now, if you were there looking at this scene, what would you say? I mean, is he going to show miracles all the time? Is he going to show mojizeh all the time? No, they had gone through normal things. And the eyes are looking at this, and they will then deceive you. They deceive you because the eyes, they don't show reality. They just show something that is outward, and a lot of times it's deception. And the deception of the eyes is very dangerous. We need to fear the fear our eyes create in us, because these eyes work like that. What we see, really, should we believe in that? Sometimes we have to be very careful, because what the eyes do, really, what's dangerous is that the eyes make things look hard. Yes, they make easy things look hard, and they make difficult things look harder. So when we, for example, are trying to look at our life and our path towards Allah. Anyone who wants to lay, okay, I want to see my akhirat, I want to see my life, in the hereafter. I want to be a good moment, miss that. Now, when the eyes start looking at that, then it's like, wow, it's so difficult. They start making it look difficult. On one hand, Allah is saying that He has made the path easy. In the Quran, He mentions this, that He has made deen easy. And on the other hand, you see that it's becoming so hard. It looks so hard. People lose hope. That's why, for example, in when Allah says something is haram, it's difficult for us to let people know, hey, this is haram, because it's so daunting. Eyes have made it that. We have been made to think that this is harder than what it is. In fact, it's very easy, but it's harder. One of the things that the eyes do, the deception of the eyes, is that it makes the blessings of others look impressive. When you look at the blessings of others, wow, it makes it look so big, so grand. Look at his house. Wow, it's so big and grand. Look at his family. MashaAllah, they're so good. Look at his things. Look at what Allah has given him. You see, it makes it look grand, makes it look big. It makes us think that others are better off than us. You see, this is the deception of the eyes. Allah, gives blessings and risk according to the test of people, the testing that they have to go through. That Allah knows exactly what to give to who at what time and when, and hence He gives like that. It's not because of preference. It's not because, oh, this person is more preferred than others. This whole concept of God bless America or anything like that is such a absurd concept. The idea is that blessings are according to our test. If He gives more blessings, there is more tests, there's more difficulty in shouldering the responsibility of those blessings. So, but the eyes, they look at that as something, wow, he's much better off than I am. And really, our eyes are saying it's too hard to get close to Allah. This is what's doing. The eyes are just telling us from different angles, it's just way too difficult to go to Allah. You don't know. And this is the actual characteristic of our eyes in this world. If you want to know what your eyes are doing to you, this is what they're doing. It makes the journey look really long and the destination very far away. It makes the illusion that the path is very dangerous, full of risks and hazards. So, an advice, really, easy advice for everyone is close your eyes and you won't feel anything. Really, you won't feel the fear. It's like a roller coaster. If you get on the roller coaster and if you have fear of the ride, what do? If you shut your eyes, the fear goes away, even though the ride is the same, but the fear goes away. The eyes make us fear things for no reason. So we need to start seeing deeper. So let's come to this hadith of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. He says that everyone sees with their physical eyes, but a mu'min, a believer, sees with the eyes of the heart. Pay attention to this hadith. Everyone sees with their physical eyes, and that's it. And their physical eyes have deceived them, have made them look at this world in a completely different way than what it actually is. And the perception of things have become obscure in their minds because of the physical eyes. He says, but a mu'min is looking at this world and everything in it with the eyes of his heart. We have two different sights. One is our physical sight, the other is our inner sight that belongs to our heart. The eyes deceive you, but the heart sees accurately. For example, the eyes sometimes approve someone, and the heart you will see will disapprove it. The heart will say, no, that's, wait a minute, be cautious. And sometimes the eyes disapprove something, and the heart is saying, no, go for it. So these two sides need to be synchronized in our life, meaning that we should see with our physical eyes what they have to be trained. The physical eyes have to be trained with what our inner eyes are seeing. And once that happens, then you start seeing things accurately. And you'll be able to judge things accurately because now you're seeing them as they are, not with an obscured vision, as they are. This is a sight by which you see Allah on the day of judgment. Allah says that you will see Allah on the day of judgment, not with your physical eyes. Your physical eyes don't have the ability to see Allah. They can't. It's an impossibility. But the eyes of the heart, they see Allah. This is the eyes that if you don't have them, if you don't have the inner eyes, then even if you see Imam Mahdi, it will be useless. How many people go for ziyarat and they go for ziyarat, they see the haram, they see the zari, they even touch the zari and everything, but it's useless for them. Why? Because they haven't seen with the inner eyes, their heart like that. And this is the secret of ziyarat. If you want to know, if you ever go for ziyarat, I don't know if anyone told you or not, but if you go for ziyarat without your inner eyes, that ziyarat is useless, worthless. It has nothing, has no value. It gets value when you start seeing the Imam with your inner eyes, with the eyes of the heart, and not the physical eyes. Because when you look at your physical eyes, all you see is just a grave. That's it, a grave, a zari, walls, dome. That's all you see. But when you see the from the inner eyes that come forward, then you start seeing beauty. Then you actually start seeing. Ahlul Bayt were like this. They used to see with the eyes of their heart. Imam Ali, Dad, do you see Allah? Imam Ali said yes. He said yes. He says, and the guy who asked was surprised. He says, what do you mean you see Allah? How do you see Allah? He said, I saw Allah with the eyes of my heart. See that inner eyes, that inner vision is how you see God. That's how you see God. That's how you see beauty. Imam Hassan alayhi salam said, our whole house used to be illuminated, enlightened from the light of our mother Fatima. They used to see the light. If you just look at with physical eyes, you don't see anything. You don't see that light. But when you see with your inner eyes, we Ahlul Bayt used to see the light that came from our mother that used to enlighten our house, illuminated. Wow. This is, this happens when you see with your inner eyes. And if you're just looking at with your physical eyes, you don't see what actually it is. Even if you see the imams, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me read this hadith for you. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, Now, how do we do this? How do you want to see with your inner eyes? So Imam Ali explains this, right? Because we have these two sides, and we want to make sure that we can discipline our outer and the physical vision with our inner vision, and see life and see things with our inner vision. How do we do that? Imam Ali gave the recipe for that. And so I want to give that to you today as a recipe of what Imam Ali gave. He says, "Wudu absarakum amma haram Allah harawna al-ajaib." He says, shut your eyes from the haram that Allah has made. Close your eyes from all the things that Allah has made haram for you. Don't see that. Don't see, for example, astaghfirullah, haram things, whatever it might be. Na mahram. Don't see these things. Close your eyes. And if you close your eyes from that and stop seeing that, and you can control your physical eyes from haram things, don't see that. Tarawna al-ajaib. You will see wonders. You will see ajaib. You will see the amazing things if you don't see haram things. If you see haram things, you will lose that inner sight. It'll be finished. You won't be able to see it. But if you can avoid the haram, if you can get away from that haram and close your eyes to the haram, and this is the simple recipe, and you will see, look beyond the lights of bulbs. You will look, instead of the beauty of flowers, you will actually see the flowers. You go for ziyarat, you don't see the imam. When you actually go for ziyarat, you will see the imams. You will start seeing the actual beauty that exists. And when a person starts to see with these eyes, so this is very simple, my friends. First, let me just emphasize this again. Stop looking at haram. That's it. Just close your eyes to haram things. Don't put yourself in those situations. Why are you putting yourself in situations where you're looking at something that Allah doesn't want you to look at? And if you can close your eyes to that, which is not that hard, which is not that hard, really, like, for example, we see our ulama, we see the example in our ulama, not the imams. Imams are like way beyond, right? Just our ulama. I will give examples of that. Look at them and see their eyes. Next time you go and meet one of the ulama in like Ayatollah Sistani or something, look at their eyes. See the control they have on their eyes. See that how their eyes are so controlled. It was said regarding Imam Khomeini, rahmatullah alayhi, when he was in Najaf, it would say that he would leave his house for the ziyarat of Imam Ali, and from the time he left his house to the haram until he got there, he would not raise his eyes to see anything. Nothing can distract him. He would just be looking down and walking, and there was nothing that could distract him from being looking around to, I don't know, stores or things around or something. He would just look down and that's it. And he would just walk until he gets to the haram, and he would see the haram, he would see Imam. And this is how you see the Imams. When you actually are able to control that physical eyes. When a person starts seeing with these real eyes, what happens? He starts experiencing life in a greater way. Yes, he starts experiencing life in such a great way. You will see the things that he sees are so amazing that there's this happiness around him. There's this aura around him. Everything he enjoys more. He enjoys his food. He enjoys his sleep. He enjoys his rest. He enjoys his work. He enjoys his chores. Everything he's enjoying. everything is better for him, and everything is more intense for him. That's why you see that the Imams enjoyed more of life, and they also cried more than others for, when they saw Zulm, because to them it's intense. When they saw something haram being done, it was intense. It hurt them because they see things differently. Real things are magnified for them. When they see zulm, it hurts them more. Same way, when they see good, it makes them happier. They're enjoying life and they're living life at a higher level than all of us. And a believer lives life higher than everyone. Why? Because he's looking at this world with his inner eyes, not his physical eyes that are deceiving him. That's why when Bibi Zainab alayhi salam looked at the images, the carnage that happened in Karbala, she said, I have only seen something beautiful, amazingly beautiful. That's what I saw. And why? Because she was looking at what happened with her inner eyes, not with her outward eyes. Oh, my brother got killed. My this. No, there was this inner eye that, wow, this was amazing. This scene and this imagery was so beautiful. Wow. So this is the inner eyes, my friends, and that's where we need to work. So at the end, just want to say that the outward eyes is what deceives us. If we just rely on them and if we just look at things from them, it deceives us. But it's the inner eyes that when we start training our inner eyes to see things, then you'll see that it's different. It starts to make us look at things in a real way. So this is inshallah a message for today, and I will open the door for the questions. If anyone has any questions, inshallah, go ahead and you may ask.
Sure, Assalamu alaikum. How do
Alaikum
we
salam.
train? How do we train ourselves to do this on a regular basis? I know, not looking at haram things is one of the recipe for, creating this strength of our inner eyes or inner vision. Are there du'as as well? Are there any other, situations which will help us become stronger?
See again, duas. Okay, let me just clarify this very well, right? When you read duas, are you reading it with your physical eyes or with your inner eyes? Reading duas with your physical eyes, again, does not help. It's like making ziyarat, reading duas with your physical eyes, or any of that matter. For example, a story goes like this: that a student used who was a student learning Islam, right, used to always be late for class. And the teacher asked him, "Why are you late for class?" And he said, "Well, I live on the other side of the river and I have to catch a boat to come here on this side. So that's why I'm always late, because the boat is late and the timing is off." So the teacher said, "All right, I'll give you something that'll help you to just walk across the river. Just walk across the river." So he gave him like a piece of paper wrapped up. He said, "Just, keep this with you and just walk across the river, and you'll be able to walk on water." So the student next day and came and started walking, and he realized that he's actually walking on the water, and he just walked across. Wow. That's amazing. He did that. So, and so, next day when he was doing, he said, well, let me see what's written there, that the secret power that has, let me see what's written there. And he opened the paper that the teacher had given him, and the only thing was written was Bismillah Rahman Rahim. That's all that was written. He says, what? That's it? He's like, that's like nothing. So now he started walking and he couldn't. His feet went in the water. You see, until then, the power that came from that dua was because it was read or felt with the inner eyes. But as soon as he started looking at with the physical eyes, it lost its power. Duas are like that. They need to be read with their inner eyes in order for it to be effective. The outward eyes will make it look little. This is nothing. Oh, I read this dua. We read dua kumel every week. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. We are looking at it with the physical eyes. That's why we don't give importance to it. Or any dua that we're reading every day, we feel like this is nothing. I read it every day. I know it by heart. So, how do we train the inner eyes? Uh, First, by trying to uh, reject the outer eyes. What we see, reject it. Don't make your faith based on that. Don't make your judgments based on your physical sight. Don't make your judgments like that. Like, oh, like that. Yes, the eyes are used for menial things, not for faith. You cannot see faith, you cannot see ghaib, you cannot see these things with your physical eyes. In fact, they will deceive you. They will deceive you into thinking that it doesn't exist. And that's the difference between science and spirituality. Science can never understand spirituality because it doesn't have the eyes to see it. They're looking at it with the wrong eyes. They're observing with their physical eyes. And you can never see that. It's like, for example, the story of the Bani Israel who asked Musa that we want to see Allah live, right? Like, لَن نُؤْمِنَ حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. We won't accept Allah unless we see Him with our own eyes. So what happened? I said, come on and see it. And Allah just showed them the glimpse of His power, not Allah, power. And they all like fainted, couldn't handle it. You can't do that. You're asking for the absurd. So that's the reason science can never understand this. It falls short of reasoning, and they cannot understand what it is because they're looking at it with the wrong eyes. The inner eyes is something that you need to look at it more and give more importance to it. What you actually feel, what is that in your heart? What is your heart seeing? Look at it more. Try to focus on that more. It's not easy, my friends, because I mean, if you have trained our eyes to be the physical eyes to be really strong, and if they are so strong that that the inner muscle, the inner eyes, their muscles are weak right now. But we need to slowly start working out, and if anyone has experienced working out, you work out slowly. The muscles don't hurt yourself, right? Work out slowly until they start becoming stronger. So it doesn't come by any magical duas. It comes by every day trying to focus your energy and your mind on doing this and making it uh, a conscious effort to make it happen.
Jazakallah khairan.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. So I guess, that is the Q&A. If anyone else wants to ask any question, go ahead. I guess everyone can unmute themselves, right?
Yes, they can.
Mashallah.
Yeah, okay, good. Very good.
I think they should do it. They
Alhamdulillah.
should.
Yes, that's good. I think it's recorded so you can
Yeah,
put it online for people,
we will.
for them to
Sure.
say, inshallah. That's great. And our next meeting will be Thursday.
Inshallah.
After Isha, we'll have our small talk, and next Sunday. And hopefully the week after that, I'll be back.
The 22nd, you'll be back, right?
Yes, yes, I'll be back before that. Yeah.
Inshallah. Inshallah. All right. Be safe. Inshallah. Have a
Inshallah. Thank you,
wonderful trip.
everyone. May Allah bless you all. And inshallah, we ask Allah for everyone's safety. Wa
Thank
akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Fi aman Allah.
All
Allah.
right, fi aman Allah. Allah Hafiz.